Hi, and welcome along to AFTV News Daily. Hope everybody out there is feeling well, a little bit more upbeat. I know at the moment it's a really horrible time, a really strange time. I'm saying the same thing every day, but there's nothing else I can say because that's what it is at the moment. It's mad. I've got to admit, this morning I woke up. Friend of mine called me, said to me, Robbie, I heard that London's going into lockdown. I heard they're going to lock down the whole of the UK. Somebody else then sent me some pictures. They said there's tanks on the road, so they're mobilizing the military. Somebody else sent me something else with soldiers walking up and down Clapham Junction. And I was like, my God, you know what? So many rumors at the moment. It's a bit like the transfer window. And a bit like the transfer window, most of those rumors are false. Those soldiers you saw walking up and down or walking in Clapham Junction, a friend of mine who lives around there said that, listen, Robbie, there's a territorial army place there. Every now and again, you see them walking. That's not an unusual thing. So there's a lot of hysteria around at the moment. Everybody's just got to keep calm. I know that it's a situation that's changing daily. We've been told now in the UK that all of the schools are going to be closing come this Friday. So no more schools for the foreseeable future as well. They didn't say when those schools are coming back. So lots of stuff going on around. It's not just football. It's just going on around. I've got to say, I went to the shops this morning and I couldn't believe it. The shops, like everything's gone. I mean, I managed to, get around the place and pick up a few bits. I mean, one essential I got, right? I picked up some more of these, mate. This is going to be very important if the place does get locked down. This at the moment, this is like drugs at the moment. You know what? You could forget selling weed and stuff like that, right? You can go in the corner and sell this stuff. Right, the hand sanitizer, it's probably worth more money. My brother told me that he bought a bottle today. It cost him I think it was a bigger bottle than this. It cost him £20. £20. Wow. I got some rice. Yeah. Don't bother going to the supermarkets for your rice, man. I went down to my local Asian brother who runs the corner shop. They got it on lot, man. They're the proper guys, man. Got my rice there. That should get me through get me through a month, I reckon. Corned beef. Listen, you may laugh, yeah, but we got to bring it back old school, bro. When I was growing up, man, you know what I mean? The bully beef thing, you know what I mean? Yeah, you had that ready. This could help you out. This is a meal, right? This is a decent one. Curry mutton with rice. It's not ideal, right? But listen, it don't taste too bad. And if things get rough, I've got my supplies there. And of course, they bought some IPAs in. You know what I mean? And I've got some drinks there. What else can we do right now? I'll tell you, it's just such a weird situation at the moment when you see people out there panic buying and things like that. But I think, listen, it is a serious thing, this coronavirus. And as I keep saying to everyone, we are going to get through it. Now, interestingly, today, news coming out from the EFL. The EFL, of course, they're the guys that organise like the Championship, League One, League Two. They organise all of that. And they had their big meeting today. The Premier League, they're going to have their big meeting tomorrow. But the EFL, they had their video conference today. And some interesting things that came out of there. Most importantly, the EFL saying that they are committed to completing the season in order to protect the competition integrity. So they stress that they're committed to finishing the 29-19-20 season. They've also going to be releasing £50 million in short-term relief to help clubs with cash flow because of the coronavirus outbreak. Of course, there's a lot of clubs lower down the pyramid really, really suffering right now. I saw that Barnet earlier have basically laid off all of their staff, given notice to all of their staff apart from the players. There's lots of other clubs that, there's so many people that work behind the scenes that right now they're just out of a job because there's no football. So it's really, really tough times for those clubs, but they have made a commitment to continue and try and get this league completed. Now, the Premier League, they've got their big meeting tomorrow, and all of the expectations are that they're going to follow suit and that they are also going to make a commitment to finish the season. When will that be? That is going to be the question, because at the moment, nobody knows what the situation is going to be, even in 2, 3, even 6 months' time. You listen to the politicians talking, as I said, when they did the stuff today with the schools, they basically turned around and said, the schools are closed for the foreseeable future. They've not said when the schools are going to be coming back. They've cancelled the exams for the schools in June and May. So they're not putting a time on it because they don't know at the moment. And I was sort of looking at it thinking, with the China situation, it's cooling down in China now. They've still got cases, but it's starting to, they're starting to get a big dip of it going down. But remember, was it starting January in China? And we're in March now. So that's 3 months and it's still not gone. So we just do not know. I'm hoping that they can get the season finished. Remember, I said yesterday and spoke a lot about they could cram it in. But I think we're going to see tomorrow that the Premier League will make a commitment to finish this Premier League season. And I think everybody would like to see that. Whether it happens or not, though, is all going to be down to not the Premier League, not the players. It's going to be down to Mr. Corona. If the Queen get rid of this coronavirus, then yes, that will happen. I'm going to be going through some of the comments soon. Let me just go through some of the other big points from today. Big up Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, he started a fundraiser to fight the coronavirus. Of course, he's playing his football over there in Italy now. And in Italy, they've been hit particularly hard. I mean, the Italian people have really been going for a real nightmare over the past couple of weeks. And Zlatan has donated 50,000 euros and he's asking people to come and match him. And I like, in typical Zlatan style, he said, if the virus doesn't go to Zlatan, Zlatan goes to the virus. Typical Zlatan style, but well done to Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I've seen that Chelsea are going to be donating lots of their space at their ground and their hotel to some of the key workers that are working in, at the NHS. I think that's a really nice touch by Chelsea. Arsenal have been delivering mobile gyms to all of their players so that they can train at home, because obviously all of the Arsenal players are on lockdown at the moment. Remember, they still had the Arteta scenario, that happened last week, Wednesday. So all of those players are still in self-isolation. They've still got another 7 days to go. So they're still training at home, and Arsenal delivered a load of equipment so that they can train at home. Also on the rumours today, rumours that Arsenal are interested in Leon Bailey of Bayer Leverkusen. Leon Bailey, big up actually. He actually came, he was doing Instagram story the other day and he mentioned us. So big up to Leon Bailey, very, very good player, very talented player for Bayer Leverkusen. Rumour is, though, that Bayer Leverkusen would want up to 85 million pounds for him, which I just could not see Arsenal paying for right now. And I don't think Arsenal is a great player, but Arsenal don't need him right now. We've got so many players who can play out wide. You've got Saka, you've got Pepe, you've got Reece Nelson. I don't, good as he is, that 85 million pounds, use that in another area. Use that in the defence, because it's just not needed on another forward player. So I really not buying into that rumour. And 85 million pounds. Tell me which team after this whole coronavirus thing is going to get 85 million pounds, unless it's a mega player like a Ronaldo's and people like that, I mean, they'd be worth more, but that sort of grades of player up, you ain't getting no £85 million. There's going to be a shortage of money after this. Clubs are going to have to be very, very careful with the spending of their money. And also the other thing which somebody pointed out to me today, what's going to happen with the season tickets? Again, they're going to have to refund a load of money back to the fans unless they can get all of the games completed. So really interested on that. And then the other big rumor today is the one about Real Madrid trying to plot a way to get Gabriel Martinelli away from Arsenal. That's the big rumor. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. But what a lot of the publications are going with today is that basically Real Madrid are saying to Arsenal, you know what, we'll give you Dani Ceballos, as a little sweetener if you give us Martinelli. Now, I'm not buying into this one either. And I think Arsenal know how important Martinelli is going to be. And again, the dynamics of transfers are really going to change because think about it, yeah? After this whole coronavirus thing is over, fingers crossed, and hopefully we return back to normality, the last thing an Arsenal fan is going to want to be hearing is that one of our best players are moving on. Now, whether that be Aubameyang, whether that be Martinelli, you're not going to want to hear that. That's going to anger you tenfold. So I think we're going to see a lot of real differences when it comes to the transfer window when that does come around this season. And as I said, I think there'll be a lot less money to spend merely for the fact that the clubs, they ain't going to have it. This is hitting every single club hard. And they're going to have to try and recover from this. And what about next season? If we get through this season, what about next season? The season ticket prices, surely Arsenal, for instance, can't charge the same amount of money what they normally charge. Because people are going to be so low on money. Where are they going to get it from? So they're either going to have to come down with prices or there could be empty seats. So there's a lot of things that, looking ahead, I feel there's going to be changes. But that is some of the rumors that are going around today. What do you guys think about that? Let me get into some of the comments. Thank you very much, as usual. Comments coming in thick and fast. The Arsenal family, they say Martinelli is going to be on the fire next year. No sell, right? So I read that wrong. Apologies. He said he's going to be on fire, not going to be on the fire. He's going to be on fire next year, and he's not for sale. And I agree with you. We cannot sell Gabriel Martinelli. I don't know. I suppose you could look on it and say, in what I just said, times could be really hard for Arsenal, money-wise. Big offer comes in for Martinelli. The owner says, boy, things are so tight, we have to sell him. I didn't think of that one. Hopefully not. No, they can't sell him. They can't sell him. They cannot. This is ILR United. I think it's Man United fan. So the Premier League will not return. It's over. And he says, laugh out loud. I think he doesn't want Liverpool to win that title. Khalid says Martinelli will be our best player post Aubameyang. Let me get some others here. There's so many comments coming in. Irish Gooner says, hi, Robbie. Any advice on starting an Arsenal fan channel? Would love to start making videos. My advice to you, just start, bro. Start. Do your thing, man. You know what I mean? Try and make it different. Be consistent with it, but start your thing, Let's get some other comments here. JC, again, I think there's some little bad mind Man United fans on here, right? He said, Liverpool haven't won the league in over 30 years and it could be cancelled. He said, laugh my arse off. Come on, that's harsh, man. That's wicked, man. That's wicked. Leon Dyer says, Arteta isn't even using Martinelli. I can't see why. Well, I think they're trying to, excuse me, with Martinelli, they're trying to make sure that they don't overkill this kid, you know what I mean? Because they can see that he's going to be a massive talent. It's his first season in the Premier League. They don't want to kill him, but I think we will see him used a lot more next season. Arsenal producer says, I'll cry if we sell Martinelli. I think I'll cry with you, mate. Oh, this one here, I'm trying to spell it. Is it Irrational? Is his name? He says Martinelli's going to be the biggest thing this club has had for a long, long time. And I hope so, but let's just, on that Martinelli thing, we've got to be careful we don't boost him up too much. I mean, I know he's had a fantastic season, 10 goals he scored, but let's just be cool. Clorox Bleach says, "Wow, go on, my brother. Big up from Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. Big up yourself, brethren. Big up, big up." Sorry, I've just got so many comments here. Assad Hussein says we should buy Upamecano. I saw that Upamecano playing the other day against when they played Tottenham by Leverkusen, and I was very, very impressed with him, and he would make a great addition to Arsenal. There's also a lot of rumours that Arsenal are taking a look at Issa Diop, who I guess another player that I rate, who plays for West Ham. They apparently are interested in him as well. We're definitely going to be looking out for defenders. Haunted Radio says, Robbie, as a United fan, I would hate for Liverpool to win the league, but I can't stand the Europa League the past year. It was so torturous. And I mean, I know, I get you, mate. I hear you on that. Every Thursday night, what we used to take the mick out of everybody else about, J1629 says, I'm going to miss Troops forfeit the most of this season. I know he'd be losing every week and he's missing out on a load of forfeits, but we still got one forfeit that he's got to do. I haven't forgot that. I had it all lined up as well, but because of the coronavirus, we can't do it at the moment. Once we get through that, that is back on. Don't worry about that. Kubik says Leipzig, not Leverkusen. Apologies, did I say? Yeah, sorry. RB Leipzig is who Upamecano plays for, not Leverkusen. It's Leon Bailey who plays for Leverkusen. So, yeah, apologies for that slip there. Gassim says, do you think that Aubameyang will be at Arsenal next season? It's a hard one to answer. You heard what I said yesterday, that Bernd Leno seems quite confident that he will be. Who knows? I think maybe it could be that because of the coronavirus situation, it could be that maybe he decides that, I'm going to stay. It's a fragmented season. I'm going to be honest, it's really hard to know. I just think that a lot of clubs as well are going to have a lot less money to spend. And that could mean that somebody like him would remain at Arsenal. But I certainly hope so. I really, really hope so. Jacob Jabawi says, shout out from Australia, Robbie. Big up to everybody in Australia. I know you guys going through the coronavirus, as well. It's bad over there as well. TK Crypto says, hi, Robbie. Keep up the great content. Do you think Partey would be a good signing? Now, Partey is again another player that's really, really impressed me. He was brilliant against Liverpool in the Europa League Champions League. I keep thinking of us. He was brilliant, and I would have him at Arsenal. I think he would be an excellent addition to that midfield at Arsenal. Again, though, it would be a lot of money. Sisolo says, Real Madrid want Martinelli. Well, that's what I said right at the start of the show. Apparently, they're interested in him, but hopefully he's not going to be for sale. Abdel says, respect, Robbie. Really appreciate your efforts from a Manchester United fan. Big up yourself. This is a time where, I'm hoping that we're reaching out to everybody right now, because I think the whole football family is suffering right now. This coronavirus thing doesn't discriminate. It doesn't go there and say, right, I'm only going to infect Tottenham fans, right? Or I'm only going to infect Chelsea fans. It gets all of us, right? And that's why we're all in this together. And we're all going to beat this together as well. Haunted Radio says, Robbie, I never thought I would say this, but I would even watch the relegation battle at this point, realizing the importance. I mean, how are you guys feeling at the moment with no football? It is just for somebody like me who goes like to every single game. I've got to say, I just feel lost at the moment. You know what I mean? Without football, I think the one thing that's going to happen is that when we do eventually get it back on, though, our real love, our deep love for football is going to really come back. Sometimes there's so many games on, there's so many things happening around football that we kind of start taking it for granted. I think our real deep love for football is really going to come back once we get through this whole coronavirus episode. Let's keep doing a few more comments here. Somebody there, sorry, flashed past really quick, but they were asking me for my thoughts on Mikel Arteta. My thoughts on Mikel Arteta is I've been very, very impressed with what he's been doing so far. So Mikel Arteta has been doing a really, really good job. So yeah, Mikel Arteta, keep up the good work. He's come in a really difficult situation. He's stabilised things. He's got the fans on side. Yeah, he's been doing really, really well, and I've really, really been impressed. Clubhead says, should the season be cancelled? No, I don't think the season's shaking. I agree with you. It really is at the moment. Yeah, boy, Shane, he says, why can't we be like what we used to be, buying cheap talent and then turning them into winners? Well, Gabriel Martinelli, £8 million he's cost. Guendouzi, under 10 million, these guys, you know what I mean? And they're, these guys are looking like potential stars already. So I think we are already doing a bit of that. Ibrahim Aaron says, what do you think about selling Lacazette? I hope that we keep hold of Lacazette. I know he hasn't had the greatest of season in front of goal, but the last few games he scored some important goals and he's been working really, really hard. And I still think Lacazette is a big player for Arsenal. And, we've got to back players sometimes when they go for a bit of a rough patch. But I think, yeah, definitely keep hold of Alexander Lacazette. Malachi Beckford says, I miss VAR. That's how bad things has got. That somebody says they miss VAR. Oh, my God, man. That's how bad it's got. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. He says, hi, Robbie, who would you want to be the next manager if Arteta doesn't recover? Well, Arteta's recovering already. I mean, after a couple of days of having the coronavirus, he put it out there and said, you know what, I'm feeling better already. This is the funny thing about this coronavirus. It affects people in different ways. Some people, they reckon, can have it and you don't even know you've got it. Other people will have it. It's just little minor symptoms. And within a few days, they've kicked it, a bit like Arteta. But then there's some people, especially a lot of times when people got underlying health conditions, it can be a really dreadful thing. It messes with your breathing. You can end up in hospital. It can be, there are people, a lot of people have died. Let's have it right. So it affects the vast majority of us. It will not be fatal, you know what I mean? But for a tiny minority, it will be. So we can't take it lightly. It's a serious, serious thing. D2 says, Lacazette or Aubameyang in your starting 11. For me, both. I always want to see both of those in my starting 11. I think they're both goal scorers. They're both big-time players. Noam Laguna says, love from Israel. Do you think that Mikel Arteta will be one of the top managers in the world? Well, listen, who knows? I think he's got off to a good start. I really can't wait to see how he gets on next season. Especially if he can bring in a couple of his own players, I'll be really interested to see. Hi, Robbie. This comes from Chorus. He says, what do we need to become a threat in the Premier League again? Well, we need to sort out our defence. We need to get in a couple of top quality defenders. I think we need a real top quality, two top quality midfielders as well. I think I wouldn't mind seeing somebody like that Partey in there because he's mobile. He's a real destroyer in there. I think he'd be a great addition. And then somebody up front, when I say up front, somebody in that attacking midfield position that can also chip in with a load of goals and is very creative. I think you know, 4 or 5 players, and we've got ourselves a really, really top team. The Adventurous Scorpio says, who would you take? Jack at his best or Rambo at his best? Much love from Nepal. I think I'd have to go for Rambo. He again, big-time player, Aaron Ramsey for Arsenal. I think that was a massive mistake that Unai Emery made in selling Aaron Ramsey. I know he's had a lot of injuries at Juventus, but he's still been scoring goals even there. He's a top-class player. Carl Gustafsson says, Arsenal have held talks over a move for the 16-year-old attacker Emil Roback from Sweden. Okay, thanks for that information. Jason Brown says, at least all the Arsenal players should be fully fit. Somebody else said that to me today. Guys like, you know, Cedric Soares and people like that, they'll be fit by the time the league starts back. Everybody should be fit, you know, by the time we get that league started back. So that is a positive. Kevin Moreno says, I miss Kelechi singing. Oh, some of the things we miss about Saturday football. I wonder what Kelechi's doing right now. We're going to have to hook him up. I'm going to try and hook up some of these guys on some of these shows to find out what they've been up to and also to get their opinions on how things have been going. Sakrik says, hi from Montenegro, my brother. Enough respect to you, my friend. Opuyen says, with love from the United States of Nigeria. Big up Nigeria. Zahim says, love from South Africa. RP2 Wavy says, hi, Robbie. Will Pepe arrive next season? I think we started to see Nicolas Pepe starting to arrive now. And again, it's such a shame that the season sort of, you know, being curtailed, because I think Nicolas Pepe was starting to show us. But I think next season is when we're going to see the real proper Nicolas Pepe. And I think he's going to be an exciting player. Yusuf says, hi, Robbie. I'm a Liverpool supporter, but I love watching AFTV. I just want to say that if Arsenal were 25 points in front with a game to go in the league, I'm sure you wouldn't want the season to end. I would. I want it to end. Of course, I wouldn't want it to end. Listen, Liverpool's got to get the title. Liverpool's got to get the title. It'd be unfair. But we've got to finish this season. We've got to finish this season if we possibly can. Bahir Maiden says, I'm watching from Afghanistan, sir. Respect what you do. And I have one question. Would you sell Kolasinac and Hector to invest in new fullbacks? That's a good question. I think I might, yeah. Hector Bellerin, it's a harsh one because he's been out so long with injury. It would be harsh to sell him. But when I look at it, I think he's still a big name and we still get a lot of money for him. So, and we could get in somebody fresh because Hector's been at the club a long time. I kind of feel either way on it because I wouldn't be against keeping Hector Bellerin as well because, again, this time's going to allow him to get fully fit and we could see, you know, we've seen glimpses of it since he's come back, but obviously he's working his way back. So 50-50 on that one. Kolasinac, I think, yeah, I'll be willing. Kolasinac doesn't seem to quite fit into what Mikel Arteta's wanting to do, although he's done well since he's come back. Kolasinac, again, been very unfortunate with injuries, but I wouldn't be against it. But big up to you, Bahir, from Afghanistan. If any country could teach people about how to get through horrible situations, I think it's people in Afghanistan. Respect to those people. Look what they've been going through over the years. And my guy's still coming with his questions. Respect to you, sir. Zahim says, I think I've done that one already. Haunted Radio says, Robbie, if the season resumes, your top 4 predictions. Oh, that's hard. Obviously, Liverpool going to win the league. Manchester City will be second. Leicester, I think they'll still get in the top 4. They're still so far ahead, but I think they'll scrape it because I don't think they've been as good as, you know, how they started the season off. And in 4th place, I think you'd have to stick with Chelsea at the moment. And that fifth place, I think it would be between three clubs: Man United, Wolves, and because the fifth place could possibly still get you into the Champions Leagues. But that's what I'd say. I'm going to do a couple more before I go. Money Green 557 said Arsenal need to sign Partey, Grealish, Havertz in the midfield. Do you agree? That is a beautiful combination. The only thing you've left out of that, though, if Partey, Grealish, Havertz, and a top-class defender, still think we need a top-class defender. And let me do one more. I'm going to do one more now. Comments just flying. I'm going to try and just pick one at random. Let's do this one. Mahasalo Cello, he says, hello, Robbie. If Arsenal were to do a pre-season tour of Africa, which country would you prefer besides Rwanda? Laugh out loud. Oh, you're going to put me in problems now with all the Africans, man, because they're going to be like, yo, why you didn't choose my country? That's just a hard... Why did I choose that question? I've always wanted to go to Nigeria. I'd love to go to Kenya because we get great support from there as well. South Africa, I'd love to, I'm not gonna choose one because I'd love to. There's so many countries I'd love to go to in Africa. And I'd love to see Arsenal do a tour of Africa. We've got so many fans out there. We've been to Australia. We've been to the Asian countries, or we've been to China. We've been to Singapore and those countries. We've done America. We've done Europe. We haven't done Africa. Let's go to Africa. We've got so many fans out there. Now, I know it's a money thing because, these tournaments that they do is pay big money to keep them over in Asia and America and places like that. But come on, Arsenal, let's go to Africa. I would love us to go to Africa. I'm going to do a couple more because there's so many. Ali Agu says, love you, Robbie. Thanks for the motivations despite the coronavirus. And Reese 8131 says, big up from Bolivia. Once again, I want to just say to everybody, with the coronavirus, I know it's a horrible situation. I know it's a frightening situation. Now we've been told in the UK that all of our kids are going to have to stop school. It's unprecedented. It's unbelievable. But we will get through this. As I said, that guy who messaged earlier from Afghanistan, look at those countries and what they've gone through. People in Syria, all these countries have gone through wars. You're in your house, you don't even know if a bomb's going to hit it or not. We will get through this situation. We've got to be patient. We've got to stick to what we're being told. That is, like, when you go out and you come back home, make sure you wash your hands thoroughly. If you're feeling sick, self-isolate. Don't spread it around, and look after others. Look out for other people, yeah? Because even if it's a phone call to people just to find out if they're all right, because this is kind of a time, it's a telling time for a lot of people, a stressful time. So even if it's a phone call to somebody to, how you doing? Everything all right? How are you coping with this? Do you want me to go to the shop and pick up something for you? Those little things would be brilliant. And hopefully we can get through this and get football back on. Get football back on. Like a guy said, I'm even missing VAR now. Thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with more news here on AFTV. And remember, we're going to beat this.